Hello again, it's Dr. Jonathan Ellerby with another 12 at 12. We're recording this live Friday the 3rd of April 2020, and we are gathering here to connect with perspectives and tools and feelings and experiences that help us to not only face the pandemic that we are all moving through, but to embrace the incredible transformational lessons and opportunities that are around us all the time. Now, a couple of quick promotional notes. Let's see. I'm in full quarantine, by the way, so I can touch my face because I ain't going nowhere and I ain't been nowhere. Having said that, I'm washing my hands all the time at home, and I'm learning not to bite my nails and such. But the promotional notes are to let you know that there's a lot coming up. We are starting to do some online classes at the Althea Center. So the first one is a little too late to sign up for now, but that's coming up in about 30 minutes. And it's about saints and shamans and how spiritual seekers throughout time have sought out conditions like these, quarantine situations, in order to awaken. You'll be able to download or watch the recording of that at a later date. Sundays at 10:30 Mountain Time USA, we have our live gathering with meditation and prayer and a message for the Althea Center Denver. That's on their Facebook page. I'm doing the 12 at 12 every single day. Even if I'm busy doing something else, I will be sure to have a video or something up with you, and 99% of the time it will be live. And I know there's only 10 people listening right now, but guess what? Next week, I have some very cool stuff. I'm going to be releasing a new book. I'm going to be releasing a 30-session audio program and promoting a new course. As well, on April 10th, I will be doing a 2-hour Enter the Heart deep dive into the lessons of the pandemic and how do we face uncertainty and disaster from a heart-centered, spiritually rooted place. It's 2 hours long. It's free. In fact, almost everything that I just named, I'm giving out for free, or very, very, very inexpensively. So if you would like to join me next Friday at the 10th of April, look out for the postings, or you can send me an email to connect@jonathanellerby.com, and I'll send you the link. It's a live class with discussion, and it's for people all over the world. So there you go. Now you know why the 12 at 12 always takes longer than 12, because I take the first 3 minutes just to tell you a bunch of stuff. So on that note, let's take a breath. Let's slow down, and let's return to the topic of perspective. I have a couple of readings that I would also like to share with you. So, sitting comfortably but alert, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Take a big, long, deep breath in through your nose. Long, slow exhale. Really concentrating on the exhale, breathing out as long as you can till your stomach muscles contract. And then a gentle, refreshing breath in. And feel yourself settling down, slowing down. Let the busyness of your mind subside. Let the emotions of the moment settle. And bring your attention into the feeling, the experience of quiet. For it is in the experience of our inner stillness that we are experiencing our most profound connection to love, wisdom, each other, and the awareness that we are never, ever alone. keeping your eyes closed, your body soft, your breath moving deep and down into your belly. A great, beautiful, wonderful Christian mystic, Matilde of Magdeburg, wrote centuries ago, "Of all that God has shown me, I can speak just the smallest word, not more than a honeybee takes on her foot from an overspilling jar." And strangely connected, we have a reading by Dante, who wrote also centuries ago, around 1300. This mountain of release is such that the ascent's most painful at the start. Below, the more you rise, the milder it will be. And when the slopes feel gentle to the point that climbing up sheer rock becomes effortless, as though you were gliding downstream in a boat, then you will have arrived where this path ends. Isn't that amazing? The mountain of release is such that the ascent is most painful at the start. And so we return to this topic of perspective. And the simple concept I wanted to share today is something that many of you have heard about and know about. It's the idea of a fractal. A fractal is a pattern we see in nature that repeats in form at multiple levels. It recurs again and again from the microcosmic to the macrocosmic. And there's all kinds of ways that fractals demonstrate themselves. In some ways, you might consider them more structurally. So there are certain types of trees, for example, in which the formation of the leaf, the formation of the tree, and even the organization of the forest itself follow consistent patterns. And you can kind of even notice that in a leaf. If you hold a leaf up, most leaves, if you follow the veins, kind of look like little mini trees, right? The root going down. Just the way the tree's root goes down, the branches go out. You'll find this in chemistry, astronomy, and other formats. And it's, you probably have some time on your hands. It's interesting to look up fractals in nature. And typically you'll also see lots of very beautiful imagery, because fractals also occur in the structure of things. So beautiful designs in plants and beautiful designs even in certain animals. But the idea that there are patterns repeating and repeating and repeating is helpful to us as we go through this very strange pandemic together, because it means that there are lessons to be held at all levels of reality and experience. And if you can sense or discover or connect with a level or a lesson on one level, then you can be sure that it's waiting to be applied at other levels of your life, or for that matter, in the world. So what society needs to learn is going to be something similar to what communities need to learn, is going to be something similar to what families need to learn, which is going to be similar to what individuals need to learn, and vice versa. So we can see that there is a kind of universal structure to our universe that allows us to apply lessons that bring well-being, balance, and sustainability to all levels of life. Now, in the same way, we can also see that the patterns of disruption, the patterns of disease, the patterns of chaos, they too also recur at multiple levels in the similar or same fashion. Great example would be that if your life is prone to illness and setback every few months, why wouldn't that be true for your family? Why wouldn't that be true for your community? Why wouldn't that be true for your planet? The challenge is that the cycles of time, and we've talked about cycles in some of the other 12 at 12s, the cycles follow different chronologies. So, of course, when we go through the faster cycles of self, it is only natural to hope that the greater world will not be going through these cycles, that somehow we're just on an endless trajectory of constant increasing abundance for everyone, increasing health for everyone, increasing opportunity for everyone, and it's somehow just going to unfettered soar, towards a happy ending. Well, a happy ending is ultimately a state of mind, right? A happy ending is ultimately about how we hold the moment, because there is no end to the human journey. There is no end to the journey of this world. So when we struggle, and there are a lot of people feeling the weight of what we're going through this week in particular, this week more than any week so far, we only have a few weeks, I've heard more people say that they're feeling more darkness, more struggle, more fear, more concern that we're going to get through this. Well, this fractal logic can be applied as a perspective both to the opportunity for healing and wellness, as well as for getting through the difficult or dark times. In other words, just as the good days can't last forever, neither do the dark days. And so if you're going through a day that feels down or despairing, be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Of course, you don't want to indulge in a lot of destructive or self-destructive behavior, but being patient and stepping back, as we talked about the other day, into a higher perspective, like the perspective of the star. That was something we discussed 2 days ago. That will help you to hold space for the fact that the dark or difficult moment will pass, and it's a part of another process. When it comes to discovering what we're waking up to, what we realize is that personal wellness actually is a wonderful laboratory for exploring and discovering what you can also share with your family, your community, and ultimately our planet. One of the things that's been interesting for me in particular is that, we launched a travel company at the beginning of this year, Mindful Wellness Travel. And the idea was to, based on work that I've been doing for a couple of decades now, but less regularly, taking people into experiences of the real world, camping, safari, travel to other places or cultures, and to let life itself be the teacher as we explore what it means to unplug from busyness and stress, digital distraction, and so on. And so what we found, or what I have found, is that by looking back at all those incredible stories of transformation and success over the year, we could develop 6 targets, 6 areas of life that we as individuals can really endlessly embrace and explore to recover our wholeness, to regain resilience, and to, without exaggeration, develop a deep, engaged relationship with life. Now, I should know all these by heart. Let's see if I can do it. Community, sensuality, being connected to our senses, awareness of energy and subtle energy, emotional mastery, nature, and intuition. I did it. Intuition, learning that there are other ways to know. That we can know from our mind, from our heart, but even from our gut, that we can sit and listen and learn anywhere. Nature, that nature is a healer, a teacher, a master, a guide, that nature is a source of medicine for mind, body, heart, and soul. Energy, that the world is energetic, not only electricity, not only physics, but subtle energy. We can sense that in our quarantine, the energy of different days, the energy of different things, the energy of different places in our space. So we have, what did I say? Intuition, nature, energy, sensuality. Sensuality is about reconnecting to your senses. Don't spend all these days locked up in your mind, but be mindful of your sense of smell, sound, taste, touch, and more. Explore and appreciate the fullness of your senses, and you will find that there's extraordinary beauty everywhere you are. We also talked about, or I listed, connection. Connection is also critical, or community, I called it. Seeing the value of relationships, cultivating new relationships virtually, healing old relationships, sharing messages and words of love and appreciation, and emotional mastery. Learning what it means to hold our emotions with patience, with open-mindedness, yes, even with open-heartedness to our own emotions, and knowing that emotions want to be felt. They want to be felt so that we can move through them, but they don't need to be acted on. Learning that emotions are designed to feel permanent, personal, and pervasive, so that when they arise, it feels like whatever we're in is going to last forever, but it's not true. And these 6 things that I just listed for you, when we think about fractals, are really the same lessons we need to embrace as a family. They're the same lessons we need to embrace as a community or a neighborhood. They're the same lessons we need to embrace in our schools, in our government. They're the same lessons that if we embrace as a species, we will come into a more meaningful relationship with each other and ourselves. We will solve problems more efficiently. We will innovate more intentionally. We will face disaster more cooperatively. And we will transcend and transform the world as it is in a way that makes room for all life to prosper, to thrive. But it requires that we understand that the lessons of one are the lessons of all, and that the need for wholeness on the greater scale and the personal scale are one and the same. What we are discovering in this time of pandemic is that personal and planetary well-being are simply fractals of the same whole. We are all a part of the same existence, and so the same ultimate rules, the subtle laws of life and being apply everywhere. Now, we can't force them on others. It doesn't make sense. It's not helpful. It's not kind. But we can embrace them ourselves. And as you explore what is bringing vitality, resilience to you in this difficult time, remember that. Cultivate that, write about that, share about that, so that becomes a new habit, a new normal. So to close, because it's about time to wrap up, we've had about 12 minutes already, let us remember that yes, it is difficult in some moments, as with all things. And it is a process, as with all things. We are in a living energy universe, a fractal universe in which level upon level of life, the lessons communicate up and down. And we are in the middle of an extraordinary, mind-opening, heart-expanding, life-changing moment. And I encourage you with all love and compassion to make this the most important time of your life ever. This is when we put all of our spiritual practice to the test, and this is where we practice so that we might awaken to the beautiful lessons we long for in the world, in ourselves, and in our home. So thank you again. Stay tuned for more posts. I'll see you tomorrow, live 12 at 12. And also remember to check out what's going on with Althea Center Denver. Check out my webpage. And if you're not in my newsletter, you better sign up for that soon, because we're going to be giving away a lot of things next week. All right. I love you one and all. And hopefully I'll see you soon.